Hello! In this video, we will tell you an interesting story about a wolf who repaid a man with a good deed of his own. It was summer. An elderly man was walking in the forest and he suddenly saw a wolf pup. He was lying under a bush near the path. He was not more than a puppy. The elderly man came to him, but the pup didn't run away. He was very thin and sad. What happened to him? Why does he not run away? The man thought. When he was very close to the pup, the poor thing tried to run, but he couldn't. It turned out that his paw was broken. The man could not leave him alone there. He felt sorry for the little wolf pup, so he took the baby, put him in his bag, and went home. At home, the elderly man examined the wolf pup's paw. He was sure that he had a bone fracture. How did it happen? He put a bandage on the animal's paw to make the bone grow back together. Obviously, it was very painful for the wolf, and he was suffering, but he seemed to understand that the man was trying to help him. Then the man prepared a place for his new pet and fed him. The man called him Gray. About 6 weeks passed, and the wolf pup became well again. The damaged bones seemed to have grown together, although he still had a bit of a limp. The wolf pup liked to run around the yard. Wherever he was, if the man called him, he quickly ran to his owner. The animal ate from the man's hands, accompanied him to the forest like a little dog, and obediently returned home. Gray was a kind wolf, and he liked people. One day, a boy in the neighborhood saw the wolf, and they even made friends. They were both little, so their interests and games were common. The boy brought his friend a different sweet every day. One day, Gray disappeared. The elderly man could not find him anywhere. Probably his wild nature must have kicked in, and he went to where wolves are supposed to live, in the forest. The boy cried for a long time. He wanted to see his friend very much. The old man promised the boy he'd bring him a puppy from the city when the boy grew up a little. 2 years passed, and the man had completely forgotten about his wolf. He lived alone in his house in the village. One day, the boy's mother came to the elderly man. She was crying. She said that her son had gone for a walk in the morning and disappeared. Probably he went to the forest to play and got lost. The boy's mother ran to ask people of the village to go to the forest to look for the boy. The elderly man also took his hunting equipment and went into the forest to look for him. 4 hours passed. Suddenly, the man heard something running from the thicket, breaking branches with a loud noise. The old man took his gun and prepared to shoot. That very moment, he saw a wolf jumping towards him. The beast was huge and gray, and he was right there next to him. He noticed the man, stopped for a moment on the path, and his slanting eyes angrily flashed. The elderly man was about to shoot, but when the wolf took another jump, he noticed that the wolf was limping on his front paw. Then he suddenly remembered Gray, and still holding the gun, the man called, "Gray! Gray!" After a few more jumps, the wolf stopped and turned his head. He was looking at the elderly man for a long time. Then he turned again, about to run, but took only a few slow steps and, stopping, turned back to him. The wolf recognized the man. It was Gray, the one who 2 years ago, as if he was a pet dog, lived in his yard. The wolf howled and went into the thicket of the forest, looking around as if asking the man to follow him. "What does he want? Where is he calling me?" They walked about 100 steps. Suddenly, he saw the boy who was sleeping in the bushes and the wolf sitting next to him. "Ah, now I understand where you called me," the elderly man exclaimed in surprise. "You are guarding your friend here." The man wanted to touch the wolf and stroke him, but the wolf stepped back and started whimpering quietly like a crying puppy. The wolf was still frightened because the elderly man was a human, and humans are the most terrifying enemy for wolves. The wolf had already gotten used to living in the forest as a wild animal for those 2 years, but he remembered the boy who was his friend and decided to guard him in the forest. The man took the little boy in his arms and, turning to the wolf, said, "Gray, thank you for saving the boy. Now you may go." The man told this to the wolf and walked slowly towards the house, but Gray did not leave. He followed the elderly man, a bit limping and whimpering as if he wanted to say something. They reached the end of the forest where the field began. The wolf stopped, and while the man and the boy were moving away, he watched them for a long time. Then slowly, as if reluctantly, he disappeared into the forest. A little later, the old man heard his howl, drawn out, mournful, like a sob. Probably the wolf was saying goodbye to the man who had saved him that one day, and to his little friend, the boy. This was such an amazing story. Thank you for watching. Love animals, do good deeds for them, and they will repay you with a good deed of their own. All the best to you.